In today's video, we're going to tell you 10 reasons why you should not move to Colorado Springs.
Number one is natural disasters. We have been known to have pretty big wildfires, the Black Forest and the Waldo Canyon fire. Other than those two, we don't get earthquakes or anything like that, but those fires are definitely for concern just because it is a dry atmosphere. We are a high desert. So in years that we don't get a lot of rain or snow, everything pretty much dries out, and then we're more susceptible to fire or other natural disasters.
We have, speaking of natural disasters, out east, we've had a few tornado warnings. Nothing like you would see in Oklahoma or states that are known for tornadoes, but on the east side of Colorado Springs, where everything is flat, there have been warnings. None have actually hit the city. Number two is the lack of good food. We have a ton of restaurants, chain restaurants, but we don't have a ton of them that I would consider good. We have like our top 5, but when people come to visit us, especially from like Phoenix or bigger cities, and they want to be taken to a good restaurant, we often struggle to take them somewhere just because there's not a ton. I can't explain it. It's just not as good of a food experience as you would experience in like a bigger city. So yeah, so if you're a foodie, and that is like your life, maybe you're even like a foodie influencer, I don't know if you're gonna make it here because the restaurants, we have high hopes and then we go try it and it's not that good. So
number 3 is the crime. Unfortunately, the city has been growing so fast and so quickly that the police department can't keep up. I know from prior experience, I just left the police department less than a year ago. Unfortunately, the police department is understaffed. The response times are taking a long time, and it's just the growth of the city. We should have another police division in the city for the size that we are, but there's just not enough police officers to staff that station, so they aren't even starting to build it. We did just get a new mayor who apparently supports police, so hopefully he is able to increase those numbers and find a better solution than what we have at this point. But because of the low staffing with the police, a lot of the crime is more rampant. Most of the crime that is happening more frequently is crime of opportunity. So people leaving their car doors unlocked, leaving their garages open, and then people going in and stealing stuff. So just make sure you lock your doors, close your garages, lock your front doors, and just be vigilant.
Number 4 is that the roads are not being expanded to match the city growth. So city planning is constantly, trying to anticipate the growth, and we're just behind on that. So they're just now catching up and getting the funding to expand the roads that should have been expanded years ago because we've grown faster than they anticipated and the roads aren't there. So we're seeing more traffic. It's a little bit harder to get to places. Again, it's relative. We've said this in videos before. If you're coming from a big metro area, California, some Dallas, Texas, or other big cities, then traffic here will feel like heaven to you. But for us, we've been here almost 10 years and the city used to be a lot smaller. The city's trying to catch up with those road expansions.
And with that is the road conditions. Because of the snow, if you've ever lived in a city where it snowed a lot, the plows just tear up the roads. The salt that they lay down, the gravel that they lay down just tear up the roads. And because we're growing so fast or making more roads, they just can't keep up with them. So just be aware of potholes and openings in the asphalt that happen.
Yeah, it's always that pothole that I'm like, oh, I saw it and I drove around it, and then I drive right through it and I feel like my axle's gonna break off. So the next one for us is gonna be affordability. So affordability is down because a lot of people are moving to the area. So the average home price is $489,000, and that is the average. So if you're needing a bigger home, maybe you have a big family and you like newer homes, you're looking at $600,000-$700,000. So affordability is down for housing and everything else that comes along with that. So groceries, gas, activities, recreational things. Affordability is down and we are getting more expensive as things grow.
And the next thing is the unpredictable weather. So we do get 4 seasons. A lot of people will tell you that. We do get mostly sunny days, but I think they count even if the sun peaks out at 6 in the morning and then doesn't come out the rest of the day, they count that as a day that the sun shines. So you'll get all 4 seasons sometimes in one day. But if you don't like the weather, they always say just wait 5 minutes and it'll change. This year, for example, we had very limited summer. It rained for about 2 months straight, every single day. At some point in the day, it rained. So because of the unpredictable weather, it can be overwhelming sometimes for people.
The next thing that we have is the altitude. We are at, I don't know, how many feet are we at?
Colorado Springs, we're about 6,500 to 7,000.
I'm bad with remembering numbers, but we're pretty high. So with that comes, breathing problems, people getting out of the breath. If you have any health conditions, medical conditions that might not do good with altitude, consult with your doctor, tell them about your plans maybe of moving here. And if you're training for an event and you train here and then you go to lower altitude, you're going to do really well because your lungs are used to that. But I know it took us. Sometimes I tell people I'm still getting used to the altitude because I'll get out of breath going up the stairs, but I think that has mostly to do with my cardio and not with the altitude.
So up here we are a high desert, so it is very, very dry. If you have some skin conditions like eczema or just dry skin, dry lips, just prepare for that. We have a water softener in our home just because Vanessa and the kids suffer from dry skin. So the water softener definitely helps, and our subscription to lotion also helps.
Yeah, the dry air is something I feel like I wish we didn't have. We did add a humidifier to our house. That helps us in the winter months, but it only runs when the furnace runs. So in the summer, we don't have that humidifier going. This year we didn't need it because we got a ton of rain, but that is one thing that is a reason not to move here. If you struggle with that heavily and you need that moisture, humidity, you're not going to get it here. And then the last one we have is growth. So Colorado Springs is growing rapidly every year. We're voted like one of the top places to live or move to. We have a ton of military here that has been stationed here, and they maybe retire and then this was their favorite station, so they come and move back here because there's a ton of job opportunities. Just in general, we're growing. I think COVID kind of accelerated all of that because a lot of people could work from home and move to our area. So with that growth, you're going to get more traffic. Things are getting more expensive. There's more construction to be wary of. I mean, at this point, we're driving somewhere every day and we're sitting somewhere in construction where, 5-6 years ago, that wasn't the case. There's a ton of apartments going up. So if you're moving to an area where you don't want a lot of apartments, for example, around you, if there is open land, they're gonna build something. So where we live, for example, I think in the past 5 years, 3 or 4 complexes have gone up just in like a 1 or 2 mile radius. So just be aware of that. The city is growing quicker than many have anticipated. We're still not near as big as Denver, but with that growth, a lot of issues come and people are not liking it as much as they did anymore. So if you're looking for a small town feel, Colorado Springs is really not considered a small city anymore. That's it for our 10 reasons why you should not move to Colorado Springs. Hopefully that was insightful to you. If you have any questions or need a realtor here in town, we'd be happy to help you.